You've heard the name D.B. Cooper, right? For over 50 years, it's been America's one and only unsolved skyjacking. A guy hijacks a plane, gets a boatload of cash, and then just vanishes. It was the coldest of cold cases, until right now. Because suddenly, this thing is red hot.
So you gotta wonder, after all this time, is it even possible to solve this thing? Well, the crazy part is, the answer seems to be, yeah, maybe. We are closer now than ever before, all thanks to two totally different lines of investigation that are closing in on an answer.
Think about it like this. For decades, it was all about the legend, this folk hero who just disappeared. But now, we've got actual, tangible evidence. On one side, you've got this simple clip-on tie that's hiding microscopic secrets. And on the other, a parachute found after all these years with a seriously dark story behind it. It's like two separate races to the exact same finish line.
Okay, so to really get what's happening now, we have to go back, way back to where this whole insane story began. The date is November 24, 1971, Thanksgiving Eve.
The whole thing was just so unbelievably brazen. This guy, he's calm, he's polite, he even orders a bourbon and soda. Then he hands a flight attendant a note that says he has a bomb. Next thing you know, the plane's on the ground in Seattle, he swaps the passengers for cash and 4 parachutes and tells the pilots to take off again. Then, somewhere over Washington state, he lowers the back stairs of the plane and just jumps out into the freezing black night.
And what was it all for? A cool $200,000. Now, you gotta remember, in 1971, that was a fortune. It's the equivalent of more than 1.6 million bucks today. He had it all strapped to him and just leaped into the unknown. And just like that, poof, he was gone. He didn't just disappear, he became a myth, the guy who beat the system, an instant folk hero. And the name we all know him by, D.B. Cooper, that was actually a media mistake. But it stuck, and the legend was born. So what happens when a guy jumps out of a plane with a fortune? Well, it kicks off one of the biggest and frankly most frustrating manhunts in American history. A search that would go on for decades and turn up, well, almost nothing. And when I say big, I mean it. The FBI looked at more than 800 suspects in just the first 5 years. They grilled everybody from military guys to known criminals, and every single lead just fizzled out. He was a complete ghost. For 9 long years, there was nothing. Then, in 1980, an 8-year-old boy is digging in the sand by a river, and he finds bundles of rotting cash. It was Cooper's money, no doubt about it. But here's the kicker. Instead of solving the mystery, it just made it weirder. The location didn't match the FBI's theory, and scientists figured the money had been washed up there months after the jump. It just deepened the puzzle.
You fast forward all the way to 2016. After 45 years of chasing shadows, the FBI basically threw in the towel. They officially suspended the active investigation. The case went cold. It really looked like D.B. Cooper had gotten away with it for good. Or so we thought. And this is where our story takes a wild turn. We're on the first of 2 new paths to the truth. And this path has nothing to do with old leads or suspects. Nope. This one is all about pure, hard science.
You know, one of the investigators on the case, Eric Ulis, put it perfectly. He said, the evidence doesn't give a, well, you can read the quote. The point is, you forget the stories, you forget the legends, you just follow where the physical clues take you. So what's the big clue? Believe it or not, it's something Cooper left behind on his seat. A simple black JCPenney clip-on tie. For decades, it was just a piece of fabric in an evidence bag. But with today's technology, it might just be the key that unlocks everything. See, when scientists put this tie under a super powerful electron microscope, they found a gold mine. It was covered in hundreds of tiny particles of incredibly rare materials. We're talking pure titanium, exotic alloys. This is not stuff your average person just picks up on their clothes. This is a total game changer. This unique metallic fingerprint points to one very specific place, a high-tech lab or manufacturing plant in the aerospace industry of the 1970s. Maybe even a contractor for Boeing, the company that built the very plane he hijacked. Suddenly, D.B. Cooper isn't some random guy anymore. He was very likely an insider, an engineer, a manager, someone who knew that world. So where does that leave us? Well, investigators think the little metal spindle inside the tie's clip could hold a clean, uncontaminated DNA sample. They are pushing the FBI to let them use brand new, cutting-edge DNA analysis on it.
If they get the green light, that tie could finally give us the name of the man who wore it.
But while the scientists are decoding the tie, a completely different path has just blown this case wide open. And this one isn't about a particle, it's about a person. Let me introduce you to a guy named Richard McCoy Jr. Just 5 months after the Cooper hijacking, McCoy pulled off a crime that was almost a carbon copy. Same plane, same demands, same jump out the back. The only real difference? McCoy got caught. He was always a person of interest, but the FBI eventually ruled him out.
And then came the bombshell. After their mother passed away, McCoy's own children came forward, and their claim was absolutely stunning. They said their mother confessed to them that she helped their father plan not just his own hijacking, but D.B. Cooper's as well.
And they had more than just a story. Tucked away in a building on the family's property, an investigator found an old parachute. And this is the crucial part. It had specific modifications made to it, alterations that could be a direct link to the very parachutes given to D.B. Cooper on that flight.
So how big of a deal is this discovery? It's massive. After officially closing the case in 2016, this parachute and the family's testimony were so compelling that the FBI took them into evidence. They reopened their files. The D.B. Cooper case was officially back on.
So that's where we stand. We now have 2 credible, high-stakes investigations running at the same time, each with its own potential smoking gun. It's become this incredible race to finally unmask the ghost of Flight 305.
So let's just break it down one last time. You've got the scientific path centered on that tie with its metal particles and potential DNA. The big question there is, can that science really pinpoint one single person from 50 years ago? Then you have the suspect path with the parachute and the family testimony. For them, the challenge is finding that one definitive forensic link that proves that parachute was on that plane. And all that leaves us right here. For half a century, D.B. Cooper has been a faceless legend. Now, his real identity is tied to 2 objects, a clip-on tie and an old parachute. So which one's it going to be? The tie's DNA or the parachute's past? Which one will be the key that finally unlocks America's greatest unsolved mystery? The race is on.